What I ate on my flight. One thing I didn't expect to enjoy this much on my flight was the food. I was flying with Japan Airlines on a long 12-hour flight to Chicago, and I have to say, their economy meal service really surprised me. Airplane food doesn't always have the best reputation, but Japan Airlines offers a pretty good variety with their meals. The tray came with a main dish, sides, fruits, bread, and even a small dessert. Everything was neatly presented, and it already looked more appetizing than what you usually expect on the plane. The main meal was actually really tasty. The flavors were balanced, and it felt like a proper hot meal instead of just reheated, which I appreciated, although the pineapple was a little too sour for my taste. And then there was the miso soup. I love miso soup, but this one honestly tasted a bit like instant soup. So that was probably the only thing that didn't stand out to me. But the highlight of the meal for me was definitely the dessert. They served a small pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, which I thought was such a nice touch. It felt like a little treat in the middle of a long flight. If I remember correctly, the flavor was dulce de leche, and it was so good and creamy. Midway through the flight, I happily dug into the ice cream before finishing the rest of my meal. Aside from the ice cream, they also served a small slice of cake. After enjoying my dessert, I went back to my tray to finish the rest of the food that was left. For airplane food, it was honestly one of the tastiest meals I've had on a flight. Since this was a long 12-hour journey to Chicago, comfort really matters. Japan Airlines is well known for having some of the best economy seats in terms of legroom. And after experiencing it for myself, I completely agree. Having that extra space makes such a difference, especially on a long-haul flight. Another thing I noticed was how respectful and attentive the cabin crew were. The service felt very thoughtful and polite throughout the flight, which made the whole experience even more pleasant. Overall, between the surprisingly good food and the comfortable seats and the warm service, flying with Japan Airlines made the long journey feel a lot more enjoyable. See you on the next one!